Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee Talk. The title of today's video is Pause and Reflect. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you haven't done so, please click that like and share button so you never miss another episode again. Good morning, my friends. It's Tuesday. Tuesday. To get stuff done day. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. Welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited to have you guys here with us today. Coach Chuck is right here. Good morning, welcome. Julie, good morning. I love it. Julie's one of our early birds. She's up at what is it, Julie? Is it 4 a.m. to get the workouts done? And the workout today, can I just say, kicked my arse. Can I say that? Can I say arse? Who else do we got? We got Carrie on the line. Renee, good morning. Live today with you. Erica, good morning. Stacy, good morning. Happy Tuesday, my friends. Remember, or as a reminder, at 3 o'clock today, I am going to be with the famous Carrie getting my hair done. So we're going to go live. We're going to talk all things hair. If you have a question and you cannot join us live, go to the post I made last night and put your question on that post so we make sure that we can answer that for you. Good morning. All right, who else do we have? We have Stacy, Kendra, Julie, up at 4 a.m. Becca, good morning. Kylie, good morning. Jenny, good morning. Dee Dee, good morning. My arse has been kicked as well. That was one of the hardest workouts for me. It was tough. I love the challenge. I never walk away from a workout, even if my calorie burn was low, I felt like I was really slow, whatever it may be. I never walk away from a workout thinking, well, that was a waste of time. I just think, man, that was a challenge, and I'm glad I stuck with it because up here wants to give up. What is going on over there? Dolbeck, good morning all. Deanna, good morning. Karen, good morning. Kim, good morning. Lori, howdy BBF land. Kimberly, good morning. Whoops. The vaccinator. Carrie, good morning. Are you ready, Carrie? Are you ready to go live today? I was already thinking about how crazy I'm going to look with my ends sticking out and, yeah, I'm going to have to put makeup on, because do you guys do that to go to the salon? I mean, don't get me shut down. When you have your hair all pulled back, right? And you got that wet head, and then you've got no eyebrows, no eyelashes.
That's the best.
It's true though.
Good morning, my friends.
Jody, good morning. Tina, good morning. Hootsek, you're HR. You can say whatever you want. I am the morally, oh boy, what is the word? I am the morally appropriate HR. Put those eyes away.
Right.
Amy, I agree. I was sweaty. Dee Dee, challenge was awesome, and I did it, and I feel great starting my day. I love it. Chris, good morning. Lisa, good morning. Corey, hey, coaches in clutch. Lisa, I don't put my glasses on. Oh, for when you do your hair, that's so funny. It is a thing when you sit there and all of your hair is back like this and it's all matted down with the coloring, you just look like a different human being. So you try and make whatever is visible.
It's scary. I remember when I used to have hair and I would go get my hair done, cut, styled, whatever, and all the ladies would have their head in the dryer things. I don't know. It was quite the sight.
Tammy, good morning. Mona, good morning. Lisa's yes. Rebecca, good morning. And just a heads up, on Thursday morning at 7 a.m., there will be no coffee talk. We are going live in our 15 and 6 group. So if you were planning on being here, just know we won't be here on Thursday.
All right, let's kick it off, Coach. We got a lot of peeps on here. What are we talking about today?
All right. Pause and reflect. So last night we did a talk in the 15 and 6 group, and Julia had a great comment. She said the tracking, so we have a sheet that everybody tracks on if they want to. She said the tracking is teaching me how to pause before I grab something to eat or drink. More than ever before, I am conscious of my choices. So this is huge. This is all about awareness, and we want to talk about that today.
Yes. All right. So guys, we have a lot of you on here today. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know we love when you comment. This is an interactive experience. We want to hear from you. So think of this right now, and as something comes to you, I want you to type it in the box. And here's what you want you to think about. Where in your fitness and your nutrition, or in your journey of health and fitness, where do you need to pause? So think of it this way. Where do you find yourself being very reactionary in situations? Is it when you're in social settings around alcohol, around food? Is it when you are traveling, when you're with family, when you're with your kids? What is it? Where do you need to pause? Where do you need to reflect in order to be more proactive versus reactive? As we go through the talk today, some things are going to come to you, but we want you to declare, where are you reacting, where you need to just woosah, take a pause, and really think about that decision and ask yourself, will this decision get me closer or further away from my goals?
And you know what? I want to just say so there are certain times of the month, and you know, yes, sometimes it's around my period, sometimes it's not, where I do get really stressed. And I will say something like, I wish I had a glass of wine, or I wish I had a piece of cake, or something like that, because that is where my mind goes when I am having those stressful moments. But I will tell you, 95% of the time, Chuck will say, would you like me to go get you something? Like he does. He's the dutiful husband in that way. And I take a moment and I say, let me think about it. And then 95% of the time, my answer is no. It's why we don't keep it in the house. So it's not easily accessible. I don't want to go out and get something. I don't want you to go get something. But in those moments, that is where my mind goes.
Yeah, Sarah, I think everybody's going to resonate with Sarah's comment here. She says, food, I tend to overeat. So the good thing about that comment with the word tend to leads me to believe that it's not an all the time thing. So that's awesome. However, in those moments where you feel like you are, this is a example of mindful eating, right? When we tend to overeat, number one, try to identify when that happens. So is it a particular environment in which that happens? Is it like when you're around friends, when you're on the road? Is it just in the evenings when you sit down with your family just to eat dinner? Is it after a long day of work? You know, on the days where you're noticing it happen, what are some of the cues and triggers that lead up to that? That's one part of that equation, right? And then the other part of that is, we've spoken about this before, and I'm glad you brought it up, because it allows us to coach through mindful eating. And mindful eating is just slow yourself down. If you're on the 15 and 6 challenge, this is actually today's conversation on today's email. We need to slow ourselves down, eat till we're about 80% full, not until we feel stuffed, or not eat so fast that our brain doesn't have time to catch up to our stomach, and this is where we tend to overeat. So that's a great point. Let's keep it rolling.
So Carrie said, I have been at least I thought tracking the last 11 months, and this is the first challenge I have tracked every single thing without cheating on bites and a handful of pretzels. 100% agree. Writing it down, putting it in MyFitnessPal as well has been a game changer. And that's where people reach out to us all the time and they say, I've joined your program and I'm doing all the things, but nothing's changing. But there are so much little things that we have done our whole lives that we don't even realize are affecting. The bites, the sips, the lack of movement, where we think we're doing it all, but the little things we aren't aware of are actually keeping us from moving forward.
Yeah, another way to, so guys, keep typing it in. Where do you need to pause? Where do you need to reflect? Where do you catch yourself doing things that you know aren't serving you, right? But you need to take a moment to take a deep breath, pause, and really think about the impact of that decision.
So the opposite of pause and reflect in my mind is reaction.
Yeah.
When we aren't pausing and reflecting, we're reacting to something. And there are so many things to react to throughout the day.
Of course, yeah.
And that usually triggers something because a lot of us haven't taken the time to dig deep and find out, why are we taking all those little bites? Why are we taking those sips? Why do we turn to food when we're stressed? Why do we tend to overeat? Usually it's out of reaction instead of pausing and reflecting.
You know, when it comes, there's a lot of correlations between finances and your health and fitness. And my very first financial advisor, he told me, I want you to just go to the dollar store and get one of those dollar composition books or whatever. And he said, I want you to write down, he said, this is the only thing I want you to do. Every single penny you spend, Literally, if it's a penny, if it comes from your change jar, if it's dollars from your wallet, if you're swiping your debit card, if you go buy a pack of gum, if you go buy an energy drink, if you go out to eat, if you're on, this is probably before, it was way before Amazon, but you know what I'm saying, right? Every single penny, he's like, you're going to do that for a week, and then you're going to come back and we're going to look at it. And by the second day, I emailed him and I said, my mind is literally blown.
And so if some of you are just on the health and fitness with us here right now, but honestly, if you are somebody who is trying to get your finances in line, start to treat that the same way you're treating this. What are you tracking? Are you aware?
So the exercise that he had me do was a pause and reflection, right? So what the very first part, and this is very relevant because with the very first couple of days I did this, I went and did it, and then I paused after to write it down, right? I'm like, I did the thing, I bought the pack of the gum, I got the energy drink, I got the protein bar, and then I wrote it down, $3 and whatever. And I was like, and then I'm like, oh man, like at first I was like, whatever, just writing it down. And then I'm like, after a couple of days, I'm like, it switched. I'm like, I feel the need to spend this money, or I'm gonna go spend this money. Is this gonna help my financial goals? Like it just automatically flipped the switch. So the art of carrying a diary, writing it down, taking pictures, whatever you need to do, like we are so in the moment and we understand. And I know you guys are sharing, we'll get to those shares in a second. Like if you are in a habit of stress eating because of situations with your children, situations with work, coworkers, a project you're working on, things that happen between you and your, stress eating, right? Reactionary, having a disagreement with your spouse and we go to food, we go to alcohol, like recognizing these triggers, because triggers are really what's leading to a lot of these things, these mindless things that we do, and we need to rewrite our journey.
Some of it is now it's beyond triggers. It's embedded in your DNA because 20 years ago it's what you did when you were triggered, and you've just let it be now. So now those habits, they're embedded in your DNA, and that's why we say, somebody had mentioned last night, I hope these 42 days lead me into better habits. Some of these habits you had for years, it might take years to break. I've been on my journey for 18 years, and I jokingly say that Fat Roxanne is chained out back, but as much as that is a joke, it's for real. It's for real. She is waiting. She's waiting for me to give in and go back to all of the things I used to do. It's never gone away.
All right, we're going to read a couple more, but again, we have more people jumping on here. So where's one area where you're slipping a little bit, you need to pause and reflect? Where do you catch yourself and you need to pause and reflect? Type it in the box. I'm going to take this one from Renee.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
So Renee says, this challenge, the 15 and 6, our 6-week challenge, has been amazing. I enter right into my MyFitnessPal before I eat it, so she gets to look at what's going to happen. And at night, she writes it down in her daily log. So we're doing daily handwritten logs, and we snapshot them and we put them in the group, right? It's like double accountability. Now, that's amazing. That's amazing. And here's one thing you could all do to take it one step further. This is what we call pre-logging. Take it one step further. Put everything in MyFitnessPal, all of it, the night before, right? So like after you're done eating and you're like just chilling out, put tomorrow's log into MyFitnessPal as if it's how you're going to eat it.
Yep.
And see where you land. Now that doesn't mean like if things change and whatever, but it gives you perspective. Whoa, look what the day is going to be. And it gives you kind of a path to follow.
If you're struggling hitting your calories or you're struggling hitting your protein, it's because you haven't taken the time to pre-log yet. Pre-log those things. Look at where you can make improvements or make changes. Next, we have Kendra. The night is when I need to pause. It's when I tend to snack and I'm not even hungry. It's those habits embedded in your DNA.
Yeah, and you know what, Kendra? I can relate to you 100% because we are creatures of environment, right? So we talked about like late night cravings. I know you're not saying cravings, or when you're hungry, cravings, whatever. Remember we talked about this. It's either biological or behavioral, right? Biological meaning maybe we skipped a bunch of meals and stuff. It's hormones, it's stress, whatever, and hormones are triggered. But it's usually behavioral, meaning when Coach Roxanne and I sit in the other room, right on the other side of this camera at night, and we turn on a show, it's just this crazy thing where we're like, oh, I want a snack. I'm hungry, right?
Yep.
I'm not really hungry.
And that's what she said. I'm not even hungry. It's behavioral. Becca, when I get stressed, I really want fried food. My job has been stressful, so I've been trying really hard to have healthy things I enjoy so I can have healthy things when I'm stressed.
Oh, I love that.
The more you do that, the more your body will crave the healthy.
Yeah.
It's not like you're never going to crave the fried, because you've probably done that for a while and your body will remember. Those triggers will set it off. But the more you bring in the healthy, your body will start to remember that as well.
Yeah, great share. I'm sure a lot of us can resonate, especially if you're from the Midwest, right? Becca, we can resonate with that comment. And again, it is called subtraction by addition. So what Becca is choosing to do, we can all learn from. And this is a matter of finding things we really love and enjoy. And it takes a while for your taste buds to change, right? So again, the first 7 to 10, maybe 14 days, like Coach Roxanne said, you're in this groove of what you have done, and now you're trying to write a new groove by adding things in. That is the way to overcome bad habits. You just got to give yourself time. And again, pause. This is where I typically go to fried food. Nope, I'm going to grab whatever fruit I love. Any piece of fruit I love, or any like veggie and hummus, or veggie and cream cheese, or whatever, right?
Right, yep. Dina, when I'm on my antique computer in the spare bedroom, I find myself eating candy and junk. Bored maybe? I need to replace with nothing or water. Environment is everything.
That's a habit.
If you even have that stuff close by, get rid of it. Get rid of it. You know, I know this is where our emotions, we justify having those things around, right?
Yeah, and so, Dina, that is a ritual.
Yep.
That is a ritual because you've done it multiple times before. So now your body has learned the reward. This is crazy stuff, right? It's crazy. So I'm sure, Dina, we can learn from this. Your mind and your body, physically and mentally, has now learned the reward is for sitting down and typing on that antique computer. I get to have something, but it's on the other side of what you have. So like serotonin, dopamine, they're released, right? You eat a donut, you eat some ice cream, you have a candy bar. It's the after effects. So your body is connecting serotonin and dopamine to sitting in that room on that computer.
Yep.
So you need to make sure that you are weaponized inside of that environment. Make sure that environment is, you can still do that, but you might need more water. You might need to do a sugar-free popsicle.
Sugar-free gum.
Whatever.
Sugar-free hard candy. Yes. Renee said, great idea, coaches. I love that. I had another smoothie yesterday afternoon for a pick-me-up. I was craving a smoothie. I would have normally made a cup of coffee 6 months ago and grabbed a snack.
Awesome.
I love it. Dee Dee, between 4 and 5 when cravings kick in, chips. Why, I don't know, but I need to start the pause and reflect when it hits. And you know, Coach Chuck mentioned this. What is your day leading up to this? I saw several people last week on the return and report said when it came to supper, they were ravenous, they were starving, they were munching, but then come to realize they hadn't eaten anything for 4, 5, 6 hours leading up to that time. And a lot of times we subconsciously do that so we can justify having those chips. Well, I can have them because I haven't eaten anything.
Yep. So I pause and reflect. Another way to think of this, guys, and we're just going to keep driving this home, is that you need to adopt a new identity. And I want you to adopt the identity of Sherlock Holmes, right? You are Sherlock Holmes, right? Or whatever, the female version of that, whatever, right? You are Sherlock Holmes because we need to pause and reflect. What does he do? He searches for clues, right? They search for clues. So Dee Dee, yes, and pausing and reflecting is this behavioral? Is this biological? Is it just because it's something that I find myself doing all the time right now?
Pavlov's dog.
Patterns.
Yep. As soon as you walk into that kitchen, does your mouth start to water for those chips?
Right,
I mean, it's just one of those things that when we do it for so long, our body remembers, our mind remembers.
Right. Or is it biological? Meaning that are you in a habit of having so much space between the last time you ate and dinner that now the chips kind of become a filler? Because Shirley Holmes, I love it. Yeah, Shirley Holmes. That's right, Shirley Holmes. See, you guys are so much smarter than me. You're so much smarter. I love that. I'm Shirley and Sherlock. All right, but does this make sense? Does this make sense? Because again, yes, if it's either behavioral or biological, right? Am I taking a long amount of time between meals? Is the last thing I ate maybe not the best, and that keeps triggering more things down the road, right? Like if you have one thing that's sugary or salty, that might be a trigger on a trigger. Or we talked about, for some people, diet soda. Drinking a diet soda on an empty stomach, massive trigger. Drinking a diet soda with lunch, not a trigger. But I have something sweet, right? Or you put a lot of creamer in coffee and it's sweet, and then an hour later you're like, oh my God, I want to eat my face off because of the sugar, even if it's sugar-free on an empty stomach, can cause triggers.
Right. So now the best decisions are always made in the moments of pause. So I want you to think about this here. Pause and reflect. Will this food, will this drink, will skipping my workout, will sleeping in get me to my goal? Think about that every chance you get. Pause and reflect every chance you get.
All right. And then we got these last couple comments.
Yep.
Amy Doback.
Pause and reflect is very important for me when it comes to grocery shopping. I plug my meals in for the week and then I order my groceries online. It keeps me out of the grocery store where I can find all sorts of sweets and
Ooh, good
treats.
one.
I love that.
Good one. And never shop on an empty stomach.
No.
Never ever. Or drink a bunch of water.
I don't even, we have gotten so dialed into our meal plan and our grocery shopping. I don't believe that we buy anything outside of what's on our list.
No.
Also tied into our budget.
No, we are, yes, tied into we are like shopping snipers. we are so focused, like laser focused. Like we have a routine. We go together. I take a cart. She takes a cart. I know exactly where everything is. We split up that grocery list, and if it is not on the list, it does not end up in our cart. And if we're even negotiating with the terrorist inside of our mind, that terrorist now has to go to the budget. And then the budget police are going to come in and say, hey, you can either get that or you can't. And rarely, and I know I don't want to put ourselves up on this crazy pedestal.
It took time.
It took
a long time to
we
get
used
here.
to just go to we used to go grocery shopping just like, it's healthy, let's put it in. And we're like, I'm going to get my honey roasted cashews and we're going to get a couple extra protein bars and this and that.
I'll tell you what we did back in last September when we first started on this and created our plan. We would get honey roasted cashews and cheese curds. And when we got home from shopping, we would open them both up and we would snack on them as we were unloading our groceries. It took several months to break that habit.
We got, Lori says I need to quit beating myself up.
Yes, you do. But that's probably just like the rest of this. Pause and reflect. In a moment where you start to have a thought, when you start to think about beating yourself up, pause and reflect on what's really going on. Why does your mind take you there? Years of habit, probably.
All right, and our final comments, Dee Dee says, thank you, coaches. I do need to be Shirley Holmes. I will figure this out. And just small steps, Dee Dee.
Yep.
Pause and reflect is just like, this is the first major step, right? Just pause. Yep. I would encourage you to write this stuff down, but even in the moment of just self-reflection without writing it down is a big step in the right direction. The second step is, have a little notebook. Have one of those little 10-cent dollar flipper notebooks and write it down. Just like Sherlock Holmes or Shirley Holmes, you're going to start seeing clues and you're going to start seeing patterns. And once you can identify your patterns, once you can identify your rituals and your habits, once you can connect that to your mindset, what is triggering me, game over.
Right.
Game over.
And some people are afraid of MyFitnessPal. They feel like when they start logging, it's so rigid and things are so... it's like the scale. Just use it for data. Are you aware? It's just data. It's making you aware of what's happening. It's not the law. It's not fail. It's not anything like that. It's just data. It's just being more aware of what's happening.
All right, here's my final thought. I promise. This is my final thought. And this actually came to me this morning in a reflection when I was doing my morning journaling and a reflection. All right, so here's what I'm going to say. Problems aren't a bad thing because problems offer solutions. If you have a problem can and will be solved if you want to put effort into it, right? If you want to take the time to dig deep. Here's the deal. You don't have a weight loss problem. You don't have a fat loss problem. You don't have a fitness problem. You don't have a nutrition problem. If you want to get really bold, you want to know what the problem is, and this is us too. You have a me problem. You have a me problem. You have a being. Who am I being problem? A me problem. Not food, not fitness, not any of that. It's a mindset. You need to go deep.
Dig deep.
You got to get inside here in the 6 inches of real estate. You got to get in there. You will be chasing diets for the rest of your life. You need to start playing detective. You will chase beast mode workouts for the rest of your life if you don't chase the mind, if you don't dig deep on the mindset. So again, it sounds harsh. I have a me problem. What do you mean I have a me problem? You have to be willing to look in the mirror. We need to look in the mirror every single day. If I can focus on me, if I can figure out me, and it's a never-ending journey, it becomes game over. Are you willing to do the work on you every day, detective on you every day? Because starting out with the problem of, oh, I find myself snacking, and then it's like, oh, I find myself not doing this, and you dig 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 and you dig. Eventually, you find the diamond. Keep digging.
And I'll bet you it goes way back. It goes probably further back than you even realize.
Keep digging, my friends.
Yep.
Keep digging, my
Yep.
friends. Keep digging, my friends.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Remember, no coffee talk on Thursday. This Saturday at 7:30 a.m., we go live with our Weekend Warrior. We would love to see you there. Make it your mission today to make somebody else smile. All right, my friends, we love you all.
What are those 2 words today? Pause
and reflect.
All right, we love you guys. Have an amazing day.